Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, the rule well and teach well. Salutations to the hopeful elect that's out there pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. All right, Lord willing, this be an edifying video, but basically, I'm looking at Apostle Tahar video about more proof that the Camp Genesis took them bags, man. And I agree with them because, man, if they teaching this, which I'm going to have to look this video up, or if they're teaching this, man, they're clearly going off, man. They clearly took some form of bag or sold out to some extent. All right. Because right here, they teaching, the natural Gentiles must keep the law and faith in Hamashiach to receive limited salvation. Limited. What is he talking about? Natural Gentiles. So he's trying to say, the natural Gentiles, which, it's a big contradiction, man, talking about some natural Gentiles, man. Or I don't know if he's trying to say, the Israel, Salakia. So natural Gentiles, so he is talking about the heathen. All right, so he's trying to say they must keep the law or in faith in Hamashiach to receive limited salvation. When salvation is escaping the thermonuclear destruction. So what the hell is he talking about? And then he's talking about the saved Gentiles will be gathered to the wilderness with Israel. So it's a big ass contradiction. We're talking about some natural and Gentiles and saved Gentiles. All right. So it just don't make no fucking sense, man. All right. The heathens cannot be saved, man. All right. Because, hey, this truth not for them. All right. They can't get jiggy with this truth. All right. Because they offended, or at the gospel, they're offended by the word. If you get to the real nitty gritty to this thing, they are offended, man. So how can they even be saved or get the chance at being saved? They're offended by the truth, man. All right. They don't even fully believe, man. These niggas bugged out, man, but they more than likely took the bag over being bugged out. But, it wouldn't surprise me. But the way these guys act, and talk, they're spiritually grifting, man. They just trying to follow what's going to give them more eyes, more views. All right, what's going to equal money, man. They got ads on their videos, so they just trying to get ad revenue and all this shit, man. All right, saved Gentiles will be able to be vassals, subordinate to Israel, bringing riches and homage, man. That don't make nobody a saved Gentile, man, a heathen, because they're going to bring that anyway. They're going to continually give tribute, all right, to Israel in the kingdom anyway. So they're trying to make it seem like they remixing, or it seemed to be they're trying to remix the doctrine, man, trying to come up with something new, man. It says Gentiles that do not keep the law and faith will be enslaved in hardcore bondage. Man, no. The main nation, all nations going into slavery, but the main ones going into hardcore, super hardcore bondage is Esau, man. The rest of the heathens, they going into captivity too. They can very well receive hardcore bondage as well. But, as it says in Psalm, King David said that Moab is my wash pot. So, that's something that Moab, the Chinese like to do. All right, Jay love Chinese food, but we ain't gonna have no abominations, all right, being fed or cooked to us. But, they gonna have their role. Every nation gonna have their role, but Esau's main role in the kingdom is captivity, man. It's not that hard to understand. They trying to say, oh yeah, you can possibly, have a chance, or you can be saved. Trying to say the heathens can be saved if they get down with the program and follow our law, statutes, commandments, and have faith in the Lord. No, it don't work like that, man. These heathens going into captivity, they gonna be automatic, a subordinate, how do you want to call it? All right, they're gonna be workers of us, man. Whether you call it indentured servants or whatever the case may be, we're gonna give them employment, man. They're gonna have employment. It's gonna be continual employment. It's always gonna be something for the heathens to do, man. We're just gonna we can set him up to be like a taskmaster for us over Esau. It's different things, man. Brothers have imaginations, man. All right, but saying that, oh, the heathens can be saved and all they gotta do is follow the laws and commandments and they can be saved. No, but after these nations get paid back what they done to us, or then they're gonna have their own lands and do their own, well, not their own thing, but under righteousness they're gonna have to follow the laws and commandments, of course. But we gotta get them right. All right, we got to teach them. All right, not really teach them per se, but they're gonna have to learn our ways, man. Cause hey, when I say not teaching, you ain't gonna have prophets on the corners teaching and reading out the Bible and they're gonna understand. No, man. They're gonna learn by being up under us, being servants, and you'll learn, grasp on the things when you're around. All right, that's why it's gonna take roughly 1,000 years for them to get right, because they're gonna constantly see us in order, and then it's gonna rub off on them. But saying that, they'll be saved, or if they just believe, that's going off, man. He said, will be able to be vassals, subordinate to Israel, bringing riches and homage. How they got to do with being saved, man? That's in the kingdom, man. Being saved is being saved out of Babylon the Great from thermonuclear destruction, man. Being saved for the hell that's coming on this earth. What being saved got to do when we in the kingdom and everything in order, man? They don't have nothing to do with being saved, man. All right, let's see what else. What else? It says even Edomites have the ability to receive this limited south. What? We can just shut it in the video right there, man. Even Edomites have, man, no, they're not receiving salvation, man. If you a pure or a straight up Edomite, man, you will not have the ability to receive no kind of salvation. All right, say, the Edomites in America, man, they're not going to make it out of here, man. All right. The Lord say going to leave neither root nor branch. So what that means, it's going to be a clean threshing of them in this land, man. All right. That's something we can 100% say, man. All right. Obadiah 1:18 is hyperbole, and not all Edomites will be destroyed. Oh, my gosh. Of course, not all Edomites going to be destroyed. Because we need some that going to be enslaved and they're going to be across the other countries. All right, in other lands, man. But this place is going to be destroyed, man. Of course, not all Edomites are going to be destroyed. Nobody said all Edomites are going to be destroyed. But the Obadiah 1:18 that he's speaking of, that is referring to all Edomites. But you speaking on in the sense of, let's say, is it Zechariah 13 or 14, I believe? All right. When it speaks of, the 1/3, all right, being delivered, all right, and the 2/3, being destroyed, all right. When it goes to America, being destroyed, only 1/3 gonna get saved out of here, all right, which that's the elect of Israel, but everything else outside of that gonna be destroyed, all right, here in Babylon the Great. But that Obadiah 1:18 is talking about after the 1,000 years that Esau served in captivity, they're going to all be destroyed. So, yes, they will all be destroyed. All right, in that context. But in America, Babylon the Great, the context of Babylon, America the Great, all Edomites is over here going to be destroyed. And the rest of the East, certain other places going to be, because it's going to be a war that happened, man. So certain places are going to be destroyed or hit as well. But, it's going to be a lot more ease left on the earth that's going to serve their captivity in the kingdom. Then after that, they all will be destroyed. It says, because some of them are called by God's name. That's what he's trying to say. Some of the, E's are called. No, they're not, man. They're trying to use Amos 9 and 11, to dispute that claim. But I'm going to look into this, man. But just, going on the talking points, these guys have lost their everlasting mind, man. And this guy down here on the left corner, he used to be or still is part of ISU. I mean, not ISUPK, Sakari. So, basically exposing them going off. All right, but I'm gonna look more into this video, but I just had to add my few cents on this. With the title, Biblical Defenders. I'm gonna check that video out too. So hustling Israelites and Obadiah 118 is a hyperbole going into Amos 9-12. Closer look, older Bibles. All right. So yeah, they bringing that hustler mentality into this truth, man. When you a hustler, so called, you don't care what you feeding people, as long as it's bringing, or as long as it's being lucrative to you. All right, such as drug dealing. You sell anybody anything. You can sell somebody drywall if you wanted to. All right. So with their doctrine, man, they're spewing and selling anything. All right, just to get a following or just for filthy lucre, man. These guys are done, man. All right, but I'm gonna continue watching this video, man. But hey, man, these guys are done, man. It's Genesis doctrine in a nutshell. That's their doctrine, their new doctrine. All right, they probably been planning this for a while, and they finally, all right, bringing this out, which is a bunch of contradictions and holes in what they claiming, man. But I'm gonna continue to look into this. And with that being said, Shalom.